speaker before we eat, so it'll be short. I just want to mention three things. First of all, I jotted these down after I got here tonight. First thing is I want to thank all of you all for being here. I want to thank the VACo staff for being here. Jim and Phyllis and Mike do a great job before VACo, particularly during the session and really year round. And we appreciate the information that they provide for us. And we thank you all for the information that you give to us, because the General Assembly, when we're in session, it's sort of like a big battlefield. You're fighting a battle here, you're fighting a battle there, and a lot of times you don't know until a few days later, maybe weeks later after the smoke's cleared, what's happened on a particular issue, because you were fighting another battle, and this other battle was going on nearby. So it's important for us, you all, to keep us informed. That's the first thing. Second thing I want to mention, and this is the second of three things, or several things that you've got on your list there. One is about the local taxing authority. As you know, we've been working on this year after year. Unfortunately, we've not prevailed, but we've got to keep fighting because it's an important principle. Counties need to have equal taxing authority. And as you know, for many years I've worked on one particular issue, and that is allowing or authorizing counties to tax cigarettes. Any and all cities can tax cigarettes, any and all towns can tax cigarettes, and even two counties, Fairfax and Arlington, both in Northern Virginia, can tax cigarettes. But all the rest of us are not allowed to do so. We're forbidden to tax cigarettes despite the tremendous financial problems that the counties have. I'll give you an example of what happened this year. I was hoping that there would be something good that would come out of the bad economy that we have. And that was in regard to the taxing authority on cigarettes. That this would be a year when the argument that we've made year after year would prevail. That argument is we don't want to continually real estate tax homes. We don't want to continually real estate tax businesses. We want to keep that real estate tax down as much as possible. Because when you come down to the choice between taxing cigarettes and homes and businesses, that should be a no-brainer. So we thought this year, with the economy down, with less money going back to low-tech houses from the state, from taxes, revenues being down all the way around, that this might be the year we get it passed. And I was further encouraged when I went prior to the session to a meeting of the Board of Supervisors of James City County, which I represent part of that county right next to the city of Williamsburg. And they had local legislators to come and be with them, and they told what their priorities were. One of the priorities, of course, like counties all over the state, we want to have the authority to tax cigarettes. And they knew I'd put the bill in several years, every year for several years, and so they said, would you do it again? I said, sure, be glad to do it. Well, lo and behold, the unexpected surprise was that Tommy Norman, who is the senator from that area, and who is the Republican minority leader in the Senate now, the Democrats in the majority, and the House, the Republicans in the majority. On the Senate side, he's the Republican leader, and he represents James City County, Williamsburg, that area. And Tommy pipes up, and he says, in addition to Delegate Barlow putting it in on the House side, I'll put it in on the Senate side. And he says further, it'll pass on the Senate side because it's going to get bipartisan Democratic and Republican support on the Senate side. But he says, I can't guarantee what's going to happen when it gets over to the House because of the anti-tax sentiment there. Well, we got into the session, so I thought, I talked to one of my Republican friends who is on the Finance Subcommittee that year after year has killed us with. And I said to my Republican friend, I said, look, this year you ought to approve my bill. Let it come out of committee. Because it's going to look bad if you kill my bill. I'm a Democrat. You kill my bill, and then your Republican friend, Tommy Norman, the leader of the Republicans on the Senate side, his bill comes over, and you pass it because he's your fellow Republican. My Republican friend looked at me and he smiled, and he said, we're going to kill your bill, and we're going to kill his too. And that's exactly what happened. A lot of times we think that there's a battle between the Democrats and the Republicans. And a lot of times the battle between Democrats and Democrats are a battle between Republicans and Republicans. And the difference is, as far as this bill, for example, is concerned, is that on the Senate side, the Republicans there are mainstream type people, and most of the Democrats are mainstream in their thinking. And as a result, for example, in the budget this year, in the Senate side, you would think that if the budget vote would be partisan, 22 Democrats and 18 Republicans. Not so. 34 to 6. Huge bipartisan majority on the Senate side, but not so on the House side. So many bills pass the Senate, they come over to the House, and they die in the subcommittees in the House. They never see the light of day. Sometimes you read in the newspaper, the House of Delegates killed such and such a bill. That angers me because it wasn't, frequently it's not killed on the floor. It's killed by 2 or 3 people in a subcommittee. A meeting at 7 a.m. or meeting at 9 p.m. and nobody's there. So unfortunately it didn't pass this year, but it seems to me, and a lot of these people that are on the subcommittee that are killing these bills are county people. They're from rural counties. And the word doesn't seem to get back to their constituents what they're doing. I mean, they're hurting their own people. But anyway, it didn't pass. We'll keep fighting the battle. And one of these years, it's gonna pass because it's the right thing to do. Counties should not be second-class citizens. We should have the same priority, same rights as cities and towns do, particularly in regard to something like this. The third and last thing I mentioned is about transportation, which of course is a big item on one of your handouts. I want to express what I think is a misconception or misunderstanding in regard to transportation. I think a lot of people, a lot of citizens believe that the problem or the major problem on transportation problem in the state is that we can't decide on projects, like in Hampton Road, we can't decide on 4 different projects. We can't decide which ones to do. I think that's just a smokescreen. I think it's just a smokescreen because the real problem is even if we all agree on what the priorities were going to be, we still got a group in the House of Delegates of Virginia that have signed a no tax pledge, and they're not going to increase taxes for anything. And so the funding is not going to be there.